I'm gonna be very motherfucking clear with this. Niggas love a bitch that's struggling. Let me tell you why a bum ass nigga love bitches that's struggling. Because the bitch that's struggling gonna make that nigga feel superior. A bitch like me, a bitch that can hold her own, a bitch that pay her own, a bitch that ain't gotta suck dick to survive. Of course I'm gonna make that nigga feel uncomfortable. Of course I'm gonna make that nigga feel like he in competition with me because I got more hustle in me, because I got more motherfucking motion in that nigga. Come on now. Let's be fucking for real. If we gonna be anything, let's be fucking for real. I'm gonna be very motherfucking.
So, first of all, she need to calm down. She really need to calm down. And I'm gonna just say off top, delivery is very telling. Delivery speaks volumes. What she's saying, in actuality, she's actually not wrong in what she's saying, but the delivery and how she's saying it speaks volumes. It shows, the aggressiveness, the testosterone filled delivery speaks volumes as to her character. But what she's saying is actually correct in a sense. Again, you never want to make sweeping generalizations. But unfortunately, in this day and age, and a lot of women have made it this way, and a lot of men too. Men don't know how to show up. A lot of men don't know how to show up in any other way, but financially first and sexually. Men don't know how to show up any other way but financially and sexually. It is what it is. A man either has to be exceptionally good looking and exceptionally adept in bed, which I would venture to say, I don't have any empirical data, but as far as the exceptionally good looking, we know that that's rare. Exceptionally adept in bed, that's subjective, because you can learn your woman's body, and any man can learn a specific woman's body and bring her to the point of satisfaction and completion that she needs to be. But that's neither here or there. But the point is, being just a sexual god, that's probably, I'd venture to say that's very rare. But point is, men don't know how to show up any other way. If they don't show up financially to where they are the breadwinner, to where they're bringing in the substantial portion, to where the bills are taken care of and more, because we know nowadays women like the extra things, the extra sauce on it. You gotta have the not just, there was a time when just taking care of the bills and being able to maybe go out to eat once a month, a few times a month, maybe do a little extra perks. But it was a time that a man could get away with that. But now it seems to be, perception can be, perception is reality. It is. But if a man can't show up and bring the caviar dreams to fruition, it seems, and I'm just going off of conversation. Everything that I bring to light is based off of what I see in this weird internet world, and I'm a lurker. I'm a lurker of comments, and so there are a lot of women that will make the comments about what they need as far as the financial aspect of things, and then of course the sexual too. But the tone her aggression, the tone of her aggression. You gotta tone it down, my lady. Like, but again, she's not wrong in what she's saying. A lot of men do feel that pressure when a woman is taking care of her things, taking care of her business financially. A lot of men will feel insecure about that. Look, we know we're living at a time where the black woman is, and this is a good thing, it's not a bad thing. You know, I always say I put the onus on the men because as a man, we have to take our rightful place. It's very weird to me how men are in the position nowadays as far as the conversation that, well, women ain't doing this. There was a time when the man didn't have that mentality. The man is a problem solver, is a builder, is a fixer. And so if the woman is damaged, you have to take in, and this is a societal thing, but then, you know, everything trickles down to, it starts from the bottom up. The society and groups are made up of individuals. So we wouldn't have these groups of damaged people if we didn't have individuals who were damaged, who had warped sense of thinking. And so there are tons of men, there are groups and factions of men who are waiting, it seems to be waiting on the woman to do right when he doesn't take his own personal responsibility. And I'm probably beating a dead horse. Anybody who's ever listened to me, I'm probably beating a dead horse, but personal responsibility is what I always going to champion and preach. The statistically, we're living in a time where the black woman more than ever, probably because she's had to, this is not a bad thing, has quote unquote bossed up more than ever. Black women more than ever are getting degrees and high paying jobs, starting businesses, getting their credit together, doing the things financially that statistically black men have failed to do. Now, if this doesn't apply to you, if it don't apply, let it fly. That's the weird thing about the internet. Everybody, what about me? Well, I don't do that. I got this. Nigga, shut the y'all niggas is weird, bro. Y'all niggas is weird. But anyway, y'all niggas ain't men. Y'all niggas don't act like men. Y'all act like hoes. Yeah, men gotta take their part in creating something like this bra right here. You do. You have to take into account what men as a society, not you specifically. If you don't know this, bro, if you've never been involved, not you specifically, but we as a society, as a group, take into account what you have done, what you haven't done, or the guys that you know around you. Just consider that. You know, you probably know a bunch of ain't shit niggas. It's just the facts. It's just facts. And we can rag on the women all day. There's lots I can say about these bras out here. Lots I can say about them. But as a man, you gotta take your own. We have to take our own accountability. And again, the conversation is just, the general conversation. You as a man, you have to understand that this is not. First of all, she is gonna take for someone like her. It would take the right man. I don't want to say alpha male because I hate that term. but it would take a man who is fully secure in his masculinity, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. Um, it's not going to necessarily show up financially, but in due time, and you got to recognize seasons. As a man, you have to recognize um, in the fullness of time, your goals, your goals, your goals and your purpose is your number one objective in life. Number one. And that applies even when you are married. You never exalt your woman over anything. My wife knows that she's my she's my muse in a sense, but my purpose supersedes everything. Now she can very well be included in that purpose, and she can definitely reap the benefits, the fringe benefits of that purpose, but she is not my main focus. She knows that. A woman needs to know that. A woman has to feel that subconsciously. A woman like this right here, if you really have done the inner work, if you've done the inner work, because it's as within, so without. If you really have done the inner work, you could get a broad like this to tone it down, to sink into her femininity. You most likely could, and then you got to account for the fact that there are some people with just general character flaws that you can't ever change. She could just be a masculine heifer, and that's just how she was raised. That's how she was conditioned to be. And you have to consider if that's what you want to deal with. But a broad like this, and she probably is single. She probably gonna stay single if this is like her energy. If this is her general energy. Let's play it again. Listen to how it's just weird, It's just
Competition with me because I got more hustle in me, because I got more motherfucking motion in that nigga. Come on now, let's be fucking for real. If we gonna be anything, let's be fucking for real.
Yeah, see, it's just too much. But as a man, you can't let your ego be that fragile. She's probably dealt with a lot of fragile ego men, which seems to be the majority of men, or at least the ones that's online. And again, there's you got to remember there's whole factions of men that probably lurk or probably don't comment or not even involved in social media at all. I know that's hard to believe, but there are legions of men who don't get involved with social media, don't get involved with the conversation, which is mostly moist conversation, mostly moist men conversation. They'll be the ones who get triggered by a post like this. Like I just thought it was funny because again, I like reading comments and I like commenting on the comments. I'm all for feminism, and I'm all for women being having their so-called boss status in a way, but never should a man view their woman as competition, and vice versa. Never should a woman view their man as competition. It's complementary, not competition. Y'all complement each other, not compete with each other. And as a man, you gotta check your ego, man. If you happen to be with a woman who makes more money than you, maybe it could be the case where y'all first started out and you were the breadwinner, you were the one making money, and then she bosses up, so to speak. I hate using that goddamn term, but she bosses up and she starts making more money than you. Figure out how you can use that to your advantage. And again, that's part of being a Mac. Like, I mean, you can come up off of that. That should be something that's enticing to you, not not something that bruises your ego. Because as a man of aptitude, charm, and knowledge, you are always progressing. Your mentality is always progressing. Now, your position may, as a man, you gon' if you really out here going for things, taking chances, not staying stagnant, which is what a man does, because a man is a manifester of awesome newness. You always creating and building new things and working towards something new. So in that journey, you possibly can take steps back. It's typical of a man to fall off, so to say, more than a woman, because a woman is geared more towards stability. That's her nature. A man is should be wired towards progression, not staying stagnant. So in that, you're gonna take chances, you're gonna take risks, you're gonna be moving out of different positions. So with that comes an inherent risk that could set you back financially, and sometimes even mentally to a degree. But you don't stay there. And if you find yourself in that position and your woman is the one who's holding the bag at this point, first of all, there should be a level of discernment and a foundation of understanding who this woman was, as far as who her character is, to where a real woman of character is not gonna beat her man down for falling off or to having a setback. If she's that type of woman, that's probably one you need to exit the building from quickly. More than anything, a woman needs to feel safe. And again, that doesn't always equate to financially. She has to feel safe in your ability to bounce back. If she doesn't feel safe she has to feel safe in your ability to be mentally strong, have resolve. And a lot of women will tell you, a lot of women will tell you that they'll be able to withstand the storm if they understand what type of man you are. And so again, it always goes back to what type of man are you? What type of man have you shown yourself to be? A woman will stick by a man who falls off. She will, because it's really inevitable. I've never really known, as far as the long term, I've never really known a man and a female in a the good relationships, the good strong relationships that I've seen. I've never really seen a man just stay at a plateau. I've always, like, even the biggest, the most admirable, the biggest go-getters, the most established men I've ever seen have had periods of where they fell off. I've never seen a man that I've admired not fall off to a degree, and I've never seen a woman that I would consider a virtuous woman, a woman of character, in that situation, beat them down. Now, of course, we don't know what goes behind closed doors. Now, and you may have moments, and it's natural for a woman to, in a certain moment of weakness, to get to maybe have a moment where she throws something in your face. But if that's her regular position, if that's her regular disposition, that's her regular character, then no, you gotta check. You gotta check that shit and just move on. Yeah, you gotta check that shit and move on. But it's natural for a woman to have a weak moment, a moment to where she may throw something like that in your face, make you feel less than. But you check that shit, and if that's a regular occurrence, then nah, you gotta move on from that. She's not the high character person, high vibrational. Everybody using vibrational now. That's not the high vibrational woman that you want. A lot of men are low vibrational, and it can create a woman like this. Again, I don't. I don't know who she is, what her full character is. I would hope to give her the benefit of the doubt. But just from this type of energy that she's displaying, yeah, I wouldn't even be involved with her anyways, because just her energy speaks volumes. Um, but again, and what she's saying is true. There are a lot of weak, low, fragile ego men who can't deal with a woman making money, making moves. They just can't deal with it. But a woman should never be in competition with her man, and a man should never be in competition with his woman. A real woman is going to teach if she has something to, if she has something to offer that the man doesn't. Not every nigga knows how to hustle. Not every man has that. A real woman, if she's in the in her full femininity, and she meets a man who's in his full masculinity. Again, everything doesn't have to be about finances. He can be a man in every other way. Hardworking, high character. He just doesn't have certain aspects that allows him at this point in time to get the bag in the way that she may think he needs to get the bag. But if he checks all the other boxes, a real woman, and women will tell you that she'll help him out. She'll teach him. She'll give him the game, give him resources, and put him in rooms with people. But then you as the man, you should be someone who brings something to the table too. You gotta be doing your own research, your own reading, your own investigating, your own progression towards something greater, so that you can you can use the principles of the game, not in a dubious, deceitful way, but in a beneficial way, to where, that's pimping is in the Bible. Okay, let me just say that. Okay, Abraham, who is the father of the faith, right? Abraham came up off of his female, off of his woman. He came up off Sarah. That's how he came up. He went to Egypt with Sarah. Sarah was beautiful. He said, "Tell everybody you my sister, not my wife. Somebody is going to notice you, and they gonna want to be in your company." And that's exactly what happened. They went down to Egypt. Everybody saw Sarah, that she was beautiful. She ended up being with Pharaoh. And it took a minute for Pharaoh to realize, you know what? Because he got, his house was, God wouldn't let it go too far. So he basically, you could read a lot into it. I really think that I'm not gonna add to the word. The word of God says don't add to it, but you can read for context clues. His house was cursed because of Sarah, because that was ultimately Abraham's wife. And so Abraham finally caught on. Pharaoh finally caught on, and he let Sarah. He figured out that was actually Abraham's wife, and so he let Abraham go. He said, "You know what, man? You lied to me, but it's all good. I enjoyed my time with this woman. She was a beautiful woman. Blase, blase. I'm gonna bless you, and I'm gonna bless you with all this resources. Take your woman and go on, man." He came up off the woman, basically what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of telling the story wrong. It's been a while since I read it, but he came up off of Sarah. He wouldn't have got blessed with all this stuff if it wasn't for Sarah. So that that doesn't have to be pimping. Doesn't have to be dubious. It's as dubious as people make it seem. But anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, man. You use your woman to your advantage, man. Don't your woman ain't a she's a resource. But bras like this, yeah, she probably single. She probably gonna stay single. But with the right man, you know, you never know. With the right man, she could sink into her softness, you know. With everybody, with all the women saying soft woman, period, all that shit. Anyway, it's your buddy, your pal, your friend, your teacher, your guide, ABW. I just wanted to say that. Peace and blessings. Hashitaki bienvenido. Goodbye.